The film shows the death of one of the people. Hey guys, welcome to the new video, long awaited, especially by me. I hope you've been waiting for it too, because this video will be about some of the most dangerous, and I'm not exaggerating, deadly spiders in the world. But we'll get to that later in the video. First, some announcements. The first announcement is about my Patreonite. So if you're a supporter, you may have noticed that yesterday the goals on Patreonite changed. And the new goal is something I'd like to buy next year. It's the Lumix DCS 5 camera, and of course a lens for it, because lately I've been getting a lot of feedback, a lot of, as Tomek Miller would nicely put it, response from you and from my friends, that it would be great, since this channel is moving forward and developing, if the video quality could also be better. The video you're watching right now isn't the best quality, because I'm recording with the camera I have. It's a Canon EOS 250 with a standard 18-55mm lens. It's a nice little camera, a great camera to start with, but like I said, I want the channel to grow, I want to move into 4K quality, and I want the camera I use to be full frame. That's why I chose the camera that's currently featured in the fundraiser on Patreonite. Listen, it costs a lot of money, and before I can save up for it, I hope, with your help as well, that if you contribute, I'll be very grateful. For now, I simply can't afford to buy such a camera. You know, at our house, things are so tight that even poverty itself has stopped complaining. We'll have to postpone it until next year, and then, for sure, the outdoor series that I'll continue next year will be much, much better. Both my logo and my cover photo now have a little hat and snow on them. I hope you'll also catch a bit of this holiday spirit, that you'll want to buy more spiders so you can start the new year with a new hobby. And one last message, listen, tomorrow, December 5th, 2021, there's a terroristic fair in Warsaw, Zoo Exotica. I warmly invite you there, I'll be there myself, so if you want to come up, chat, or give a high five, that's no problem at all. Thomas will also be at this fair. There will be lots of people, reptiles, arachnids, insects, everything you could dream of, decor, amphibians, and even plants. It's crazy, there will be so many exhibitors, it's a really awesome fair. You probably shouldn't say crazy, maybe that's not the best word for it, but anyway, Tomas will be there too and he'll have lots of tarantulas. So if you want to start the new year, or end this year, with a new hobby or a new pet, there's a chance to buy a tarantula from Tomas to see in person what you're getting and go home with a new little spider. Przemek will be there too. I don't think Przemek will bring my new t-shirts from what he said, but if you place an order, he'll probably bring them. Also, as far as I know, Przemek still has some t-shirts available. There are black and white ones. I think I have those t-shirts, the ones with the graphic inspired by Banksy's girl with a balloon. So it's my original graphic. You can also buy such a t-shirt in black on Przemek's website. There's a link below. And I think that's enough talking, because after all, you didn't come here for the talking. Let's start having fun with the Brazilian wandering spiders. To even start this video and get a little into the topic of Brazilian wandering spiders, I'll have to take this creature out. Here it is, the Brazilian wandering spider. A real one. I mean, it's a real spider that's been preserved. The second specimen is in my freezer. We'll deal with it later. And today I'll tell you about two species, but to make any kind of theoretical introduction, I need to sit in the armchair. So to even start telling you anything about them, maybe let's outline what we're dealing with. Brazilian wandering spiders is the name given to spiders of the genus Phonutria, right? Currently, we have 9 species, and interestingly, Wikipedia lists 8 species, and what's even more interesting, the 9th species is exactly this species. It is not included on Wikipedia, so there are 8 there, plus this one makes 9, and this is exactly Phonutria depilata. These spiders belong to the Cetenidae family and generally have quite a bad reputation because they are very, very, very venomous and lethally venomous. In 2007, he ate a spider called Phonutria nigriventa, and I think this is its exuvia, the one below, because that's the exuvia, and this is the real spider. The venom of this species was entered into the Guinness Book of Records as the most deadly spider venom in the world, thus establishing Phonutria nigriventa as the most venomous spider species in the world. Later, Atrax robustus took over that title because the definition of venom toxicity for humans changed, and it turned out that male Atrax robustus are actually more venomous according to those guidelines. So for now, I don't know if it holds second place, probably second, although there are some indications that spiders from the Sicarius genus might have even stronger venom, but alright, let's not focus on them. Phonutria, the Brazilian wandering spiders, also known as banana spiders, are found, listen, in the neotropical zone. What does that mean? Well, to put it simply, South America, and there we have countries like, Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, Brazil, Guyana, and so on and so on. In those regions, there are these 9 species of wandering spiders. And someone might say, well, that's great that they're not here, right? Exactly. It seems great that they're not here because they often live in bananas. Generally, these are arboreal spiders. They're nocturnal hunters. They hunt mainly insects at night and sometimes small lizards or other small vertebrates. Unfortunately, they have this tendency that living on those banana plantations, they are very often brought over to North America and Europe. And there have already been stories like that, where a deadly spider was found in bananas at Leclerc or some other store. So unfortunately, there are often cases where these spiders are brought to different parts of the world with shipments, most often with bananas. And before we move on to looking at these spiders up close, and one more spider up close, I'd like to show you a clip from a documentary film that's available on YouTube. It's a film from 1998 that I used to watch passionately when I was a kid. And it's a film that very clearly shows how dangerous Brazilian wandering spiders are. The film actually shows the death of a person caused by a wandering spider. Of course, it's staged for the purposes of the film, but it really demonstrates how dangerous such a spider can be and what happens to the human body when one bites us. I hope YouTube doesn't ban me for copyright reasons. I actually had this film recorded, on tapes. It's a shame tapes won't come back. But anyway, now it's available on YouTube. Check this out.
These are the wandering spiders of Central and South America. Many have a nasty disposition to go along with a nasty bite. This is the one to truly avoid. The Brazilian wandering spider, also nicknamed the banana spider. Its venom is full of dangerous neurotoxin. The highest risk is for banana workers. Regardless of the small inhabitants, close contact with humans is the order of the day. It's only a matter of time before the easily irritated banana bird strikes with unpleasant precision from almost 2 pieces away. The bird pays for a piece with its picture. Editing after a few minutes, the effects of the charcoal become obvious. Charcoal is a toxin. It kills the nervous system by blocking the transmission of signals to the muscles. Eventually, the muscle will twist and twist. It will start to scream. The coal twists and becomes a place of resulting pain, which can spread. Other symptoms may indicate rare damage and severe pain pressure. In particular cases, the soldier goes into shock.
So what do you think? Impressive, right? This is the presentation of the Wałęsak brasiliensis, and now let's move on to taking a closer look at these spiders. So, as you can see, I've taken out 2 specimens here, a rather poorly preserved Phonutria depilata, and I believe a molt of Phonutria nigriventer. Unfortunately, this lens doesn't allow me to get any closer, so we're switching to a macro lens. And there you go. The spider itself looks like this, pretty menacing. You can't tell me it doesn't look scary, especially when you look at the arrangement of its eyes. And the spiders themselves, let me tell you, can grow to quite a large size. They can reach up to, I think, 4 or even over 4 centimeters in body length. With their legs spread out, it's about 10 to 11 centimeters since their legs are quite long. And here we can see their chelicerae. The chelicerae will probably be more visible on this specimen. Yes, this is Phonutria nigriventer. As you can see by the position of the chelicerae and those venom claws, you can tell they don't have much in common with tarantulas. These are true spiders. Maybe let's look from this angle. Listen, what you see here, that black stripe on the carapace, that's a characteristic feature of the entire Phonutria genus, I think, plus those little white spots on the thighs. Do you see them? These are basically the bases of thicker hairs that have transformed into something like spines. And just like Phonutria nigriventer here, Phonutria depilata also has a black stripe running along the entire cephalothorax. you'd better not look at the abdomen because unfortunately that's my fault. I really messed up preparing this abdomen because the spider came to me with a slightly damaged abdomen and there was just no way to do it better. There was nothing I could do about it and I didn't want to leave it without an abdomen because that would look kind of weird. So it is what it is now, right? A cool feature that's also quite characteristic of Pizarridae spiders is their thin feet. It's like the leg gets thinner towards the end of the whole limb, and that's how it looks. And that's how these spiders look. But now, it's time to head to the kitchen. And to the kitchen, sorry for the yellow light, we're going there to open the freezer where there's a bottle and where this is. That's right, my friends, it's the little box I just took out of the freezer. It contains a real Brazilian wandering spider, and now it's not a Phonutria depilata, but a spider that has just been entered into the Guinness Book of Records, and it's a Phonutria nigriventer, I wanted to say freshly dead, a fresh female that was sent to me from the Czech Republic. And right in this box, of course, there were also, what are they called? Oh man, paper towels, so that this dead specimen wouldn't get damaged, because what happened to this specimen could have happened to it, meaning its abdomen could have fallen apart. This spider, as I said, is fresh. It was still alive this year, but since it's an adult female, it died. It died, and from what I can see, it's a bit worn out, but that's okay, we'll deal with it. This spider will soon go for preparation, and I'd like to show you how I do it. I mean, I hope I don't mess it up, because if I do, that'll be a bit of a bummer, since I paid quite a bit for it. I'll try to prepare it as best as I can, and we'll see how it turns out. The spider isn't small either, and knowing that what I'm holding was, when alive, one of the most dangerous spiders in the world, well, it's impressive. It's a bit of a strange feeling, kind of creepy. Oh, I can already see it slowly thawing because it's moving, guys. Just kidding. It's moving because the muscles are contracting, and when the ice melts, the muscles make the legs curl up. A spider like this, obviously, a dead one won't bite, right? Is a spider like this dangerous in any way? No, unless we try to, somehow stick its venom fangs into our skin, which would be a pretty stupid thing to do, then no, it's just a piece of dead chitin. Inside, there are guts that are still floating around, because, like I said, it's fresh since it was kept in the freezer the whole time. Other than that, it's basically just a dead bug, as someone might put it. We're changing the shot and getting ready to prepare this spider. I'll tell you about a few things I should mention so you don't mess up a spider like this, and you'll see what the final result looks like, right? Let's go. As for preparing a spider like this, what we'll need is, of course, the specimen itself, the spider, a bit of cotton to fill the abdomen, some pins for positioning, my precise tweezers, plus a very, very sharp scalpel. It's extremely useful if the scalpel is really sharp, and of course precise tweezers, something like this, but surgical. And that's basically everything we'll need. And of course the surface we're working on. Here I have a paper towel plus the base where we'll eventually position the spider, which is a piece of this cover that's used in modeling. So we'll put that underneath. We're waiting for the spider to completely thaw, so to speak. Here we can already see that we can move its limbs, and it's perfect. That's it. Well, the spider is scary, and it's not that small at all. I'd really like to keep its abdomen intact. That's basically the most important and the most difficult part of the operation. In a moment, I'm not sure if we shouldn't switch to a macro lens, so you can see it better and from a closer perspective. Well, the spider is terrifying, listen. So, before we start, just a heads up for those with a weaker stomach. Unfortunately, I'll have to cut out its guts, which means it's not going to be a pleasant sight. So, if you have a weak stomach, feel free to skip this part and move on to the section where things will be a bit less disgusting. Unfortunately, I might be able to limit those nasty parts a bit here. What do we do? Well, we need to cut open its abdomen. I always make the incision from underneath so that nothing is visible from above when the spider is displayed. We make a delicate incision. That's exactly why a very sharp scalpel is useful. Alright, the incision is done. At this stage, you already need to put a piece of toilet paper or paper towel underneath because unfortunately spiders have this tendency to be greasy. If the fat from the abdomen spreads over the spider, it will look really ugly, and that's definitely not what we want. Here I'll move its legs aside with pins so I can operate more steadily around the abdomen.
Oh.
You see, the guts are already coming out. That's exactly why this is a bit disgusting. Well, unfortunately, if we want to have a nicely prepared specimen, we just have to get through it. That's it. Okay, I think I'll really spare you this view, so we'll change the shot in a moment and I'll show you what the specimen looks like with an empty abdomen. Alright, I hope you don't mind that I spared you that rather unpleasant sight. I'll tell you, it went better than I expected, really. Cleaning and emptying that abdomen went surprisingly smoothly. I'm honestly shocked. And now it looks the way it looks, right? So it's just after an empty abdomen, like a sack. And now this sack needs to be stuffed, needs to be shaped, and that will be the end of the most difficult process in this whole preparation. Now, the most important thing is to have some micro sensitivity and to be able to shape the abdomen nicely. I do it using cotton from cotton pads, so nothing special here. I just stuff the cotton into the abdomen. And that's it. Interestingly, quite a lot of cotton fits in there. I don't compress it, so I don't make any lumps or clumps. Unfortunately, it's quite a difficult, monotonous process and definitely something that only patient people can do. This isn't a job for everyone because you need a lot of patience and a good feel for it to really stuff the abdomen nicely so it doesn't turn out sloppy. Like what I did with Phonutra depilata, that one was definitely sloppy. Well, there's still a lot of work ahead of me here. Whew! Alright, dude, it's been about 15 minutes I did it. The abdomen is nicely stuffed. Seriously, I'm satisfied with the result because the abdomen, first of all, I managed to stuff it, but also it's very nicely, let's call it, shaped. Something like that. So basically, we've already done the hardest part of preparing the whole spider. I also managed to spread the chelicerae here a bit to show you what kind of venom claws it has, but I think I'll show you that in a separate episode. Now we just have to arrange the legs and wait for the spider to dry, so that's the most important thing right now. I'm glad I didn't mess up this spider. Alright, dear viewers, we did it. Seriously, I'm really happy with the result. This is one of the best prepared specimens I have. It turned out great. The abdomen also turned out great. And the only thing left for us is basically to discuss the legality of owning spiders like these. Because someone will ask, okay, but where did you get these from, right? But that's illegal. Well, yes, spiders from the Phoneutria genus, and not only spiders from the Phoneutria genus, but also atrax, spiders from the Hadronice genus, Latrodectus mactans, and 2 other widow spiders, and so on, are on the list of dangerous animals, right? And normally you can't really get a permit to keep such a spider in Poland, and breeding them without any permits is completely illegal. Such permits, for example, can be obtained by, I don't know, zoos, or for example, an exhibition at the Palace of Culture where my buddy works, and I'd like to send my regards to Oleg from here. You can actually admire a real specimen from the Phoneutria genus there. I don't know which one it is, whether it's Fera or Nigriventa. I don't remember. Anyway, there's one such little spider sitting there at the Palace of Culture. Zoos or scientific institutions that conduct research on these little spiders can also have such specimens. Normally, it's illegal. If you want these spiders, you have to go to the Czech Republic to start a breeding farm there because you can breed them there. But is it legal to possess such spiders? I mean, dead ones? Yes, I haven't found any regulations here that would prohibit possessing dead, preserved specimens of dangerous animals like black widows or Phoneutria spiders. Normally such a spider is dead, it can't do anything, so it's completely harmless, it's just a piece of chitin, as I mentioned before. Well, I think we'll end today's episode here. I'll be doing even more close-ups. If you have any questions about preservation or about the species itself, of course, write in the comments. And if you have a request, for example, if your spider died and you'd like to keep it, I also do preservation on commission, so just contact me and we'll work something out. And I'll see you in the next videos. See you at the expo tomorrow in Warsaw, and see you soon. Bye!